The reason why people typically start a weight loss journey and typically start trying to get on top of their health is because they're in so much pain. There's so much pain there that they think to themselves, well, look, like, I don't care what it takes. I need to get out of this pain. I need things to change. And then they start training, right? And then they start doing, dieting and changing some of these things. And they start losing some weight. They start losing a few kilos, and then they start feeling better. Joints start hurting less. They're feeling stronger and fitter, and they got more energy, and they start feeling great. And that's awesome. But the fact that they're now no longer feeling that pain, the pain of being overweight, they're starting to feel so good that their motivation just dies with it, because it's like, well, I'm feeling good, like the whole reason why they started in the first place was because they were feeling bad. It's this conundrum, this problem where it's like comfort kills motivation, and then it becomes more painful to keep up the program, to keep up the, denying yourself those yummy foods and, going to events and eating other things or eating less. And it's just that it wears you down because they're feeling good now. So, why not? So, ultimately, most of our decisions are just made on what's going to make me feel better. That is the motivating force for all of our choices, really, is to feel better. As soon as that pain goes away, so does the motivation. So this is a real problem, like when you have too much satisfaction, then you've got no motivation. Imagine you are 1,000% satisfied with anything and everything in your life right now. So why would you bother doing anything? Well, how could you care? So the person loses the weight, and then they start feeling better. And then typically what happens is then they go back to the bad eating behaviors, being lazy and whatever it is. And then they start to put the weight back on, and then they just, bugger it. And then and it's got to get so bad to the point where they're in so much pain again that they're motivated to do something about it. And typically it's when they put on more weight than they had in the first place. So they're feeling just as bad or worse, and then they think, oh, okay, well, I better start again. And then again, same thing happens. Like, it's just that, they lose a few kilos, they feel better, and then they start again. So it's really, this yo-yoing it's not like your body weight set point or your obesity genes or any of that crap. It's pain and pleasure. It's just constantly moving away from the most painful thing. So part of the problem here is a perception issue, right? It's like, if someone believes that the thing that they need to do to lose weight is this extremely painful thing. I've got to deny myself everything. I'm not allowed to have anything bad. I'm not have any treats. And you got to work out 10 days a week. And 10 times a week. And you got to do all these things. And then it's so painful. And then the pain of staying the same, the pain of being overweight and feeling terrible about yourself, that has to be so bad to the point where that solution seems less painful. One of the keys of this is to make sure that your perception of pain involved in change isn't so high. You dial it down, what needs to be done. So you don't have to lose it all in a week. You can't get it all done in a month. That's not going to happen anyway. So those extreme things are only going to demotivate you. Keeping something up over the long term, you have to dial down the pain involved in change. But then also to stop yo-yoing and to keep going back is to actually keep the pain of being overweight a little bit high, or a little bit definitely higher than you would think, because being too satisfied with where you're at and what's going on is actually going to demotivate you. It's sort of the art of weight loss, the art of managing your health behaviors is be sort of happy with where you're going, but still dissatisfied, still a little bit unhappy with it. Because if you're too happy with it, the motivation dies. You don't want to be driven by a sense of worthlessness and anxiety. You don't want that. That's terrible. But the thing is, you don't want to be overly happy with it either, because you're just not going to care enough to do anything about it. It's a real sweet spot to maintain. Stay connected to the pain of your weight. Stay connected to that pain. You get too happy and satisfied and wow, everything's so amazing, it's going so well, and you have all this hope, this hope attached to the future, and that you think, yes, it's definitely going to happen. And so then you just stop. You stop caring so much because it's like, it's going to happen, but then it doesn't, because your motivation dies. You got to sort of play in these two worlds, be satisfied and yet unsatisfied, enough to keep the game going.
If you want to know more, check out the channel and keep watching, and you'll find out how to navigate this game properly.